Welcome to the ISME Online Cafe. Each meeting will be hosted by a different member of one of the ISME committees, and today is MISTEC. And the main purpose of our meetings is to provide a platform for music education practitioners and students across the globe to share, discuss, and reflect on their experiences and narratives while learning from and with one another in an atmosphere of safety, trust, and mutual support, which is very important. So by participating in this meeting, we all agree to and take responsibility for the following. So we will have 6 bullet points here. So we aim at creating a welcoming and inclusive environment. We accept and honor diverse perspectives. We cultivate a sense of belonging and trust. We cultivate open and honest communication. We foster the health and well-being of all participants. We listen, respond, and disagree respectfully, and avoid judgmental statements towards others. That's it. So let's talk and get inspired today. So I'm sorry that it's a bit long, but it's official, and I was told to do that. And so I'm Chi-hin Leung, one of the commissioner of MISTEC, Music in School and Teacher Education Commission. And I have 2 colleagues here, also our commissioner. Wendy, can you say hello to everyone?
Everyone, yeah, Wendy Brooks coming to you from Australia.
And Elizabeth.
Hello everyone. I'm from Greece.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
Commissioner too.
Yes,
I changed my name because it's Greek. It's Greek, so sorry, I'll change my name.
I'm afraid that I cannot pronounce it properly. Thank you for speaking out. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us. So this is the first slide of today. And we also have some good friends here. I know some old friends, new friends, also a past chair like Brad here. So we are very honored and happy to host this online cafe. So this is the agenda or kind of like a rundown of today. So we begin with a welcome note. So I welcome everyone on behalf of the commission. As you know, we have 2 sections due to the different time to hope to engage more people from all over the world. So this section is more on Asian Pacific. And the other one, of course, is for the US, another side of the earth. So we have the welcome note, and then we will have a brief, like a briefing, a presentation about our MISTEC cover paper, which is very important, and we are going to have our pre-conference in 2024. So Elizabeth will help us on that side. And then I will give a little bit about today's topic, which is AI in music. Okay, I just very brief. And then also some thoughts from our past chair, past MISTEC chair. Brad is here. If we have other commissioner, also welcome. So Wendy will help us in this section. And then we will have some breakout room section to discuss some topics related to the AI, which is the theme of this online cafe today. So, and then we will have a presentation of your group discussion. So maybe a representative or a few representative to share their view on behalf of the group. And finally, of course, we have some Q&A open forum so we can talk more. And of course, we will end the cafe officially, probably around something in Hong Kong time. Okay, say within 2 hours or 1.5 more. And of course, if you want to talk more, we can still open the Zoom environment so that you can keep talking, keep discussing, or keep greeting each other. So this is what we have today. I hope that is clear, and hope that we can give you some insight, provide a platform for networking, and so everyone will enjoy this. Probably it's the evening or some are in nighttime. Okay, Right. So what about if I invite Elizabeth to give us a kind of like a briefing about our call for paper? I think the deadline is approaching, and we hope that we have more people to join us, because it's a very good platform for sharing your research, your workshop, or even some thoughts there. Can I pass the time to Elizabeth?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. You are absolutely right. This conference, the MISTEC pre-conference, is not just a pre-conference. It's a vibrant and dynamic music educators and researchers worldwide family, which inspires and encompasses. The theme of this seminar is sustaining and building resilience in music education. As you can see, it aligns with the theme of the main ISME conference, Advocacy for Sustainability in Music Education. So this is an opportunity for us to advocate for the sustainability in music education, which is vital for the enrichment of our society and close to our hearts. So we invite submissions around this topic in the following 3 categories: spoken papers, but keep in mind that you can submit only full papers, not abstract, only full papers, demonstration and workshops, and posters. You have to take into account that the Commission accepts only 1 submission per author. The deadline, as you may know, is on the 1st of November. So keep this date in mind as well, as late submission will not be accepted. A very, very, very important information. MISTEC is committed to supporting the academic and professional growth of our contributors. So we are pleased to announce that there will be financial support for accommodation for the first author and presenter of spoken papers and workshop, not of posters. So I think that this is very, very helpful. It helped me a lot previous times in MISTEC. Another important information. If your paper is accepted, a unique opportunity awaits you. You are invited to present your work as a poster at the main ISME conference in Helsinki. This means that you will enable a wider audience to benefit from your insight and expertise. But keep in mind as well, your pre-conference presentation will not go through a separate review process by the conference committee, but it will be recommended for inclusion in the poster session by our commission chair, Lily Hafton. For more information about MISTEC Commission call for papers, you can in the call for papers website, you can find everything you will need. I will send the link via chat, so you can have a look as soon as possible. However, even if you don't wish to submit any kind of papers, you will welcome you with open arms to join us in Tallinn, in Estonia, and attend this remarkable pre-conference seminar. In the MISTEC video, you may see stunning photos of Tallinn and feel the previous seminar atmosphere. Let's unite in Tallinn, and together we'll make the 2024 ISME MISTEC Conference Seminar an unforgettable and transformative experience. Hope to see you all there.
Thank you so much. Before we move on, perhaps we can leave a minute to see whether there's some question about that call for paper or anything about the call for a workshop, etc., related to what Elizabeth said. So anyone is interested in submitting, or it's very clear actually if you read through the guideline. And some of our own friends, I think they know it very well. As you know, the conference is around 5 days, and we usually give quite a long session for each presenter, so that they can present their their research work, and also we have some time for participants to discuss about their work. So it's a kind of two-way exchange. So not only you present and then we receive your finding, but we also have some input to the offer. So is there any question on it? Not yet. Okay. If no
may
question,
I add something I forgot?
please.
Sorry.
Yes, please.
If your paper is accepted, then the full paper will be included in the proceeding of MISTEC pre-conference, something which is really, really, I think, very, very important.
Yes.
And
we have a proceeding, yeah.
Yeah, if I may almost add, if you are accepted for MISTEC, you will also be considered for a poster in the main conference.
Yeah.
I see. That's great. Thanks for the information. It's very helpful. And you can also find the call for score website link in the chat room. Thanks, Elizabeth. Right. No question. Thank you so much. So I just changed my mind. I want to invite Wendy to talk about our past experiences in MISTEC, and also we invite our past chair. But before that, okay, give me 1 minute. We have prepared a video, okay, which is I think is worth to share with you. Just 1 minute, and then I will pass the time to Wendy, okay? Is here. Just let me show you. A second, okay? Right. Okay. So we produced this 1 minute kind of like a trailer, like a promotion video, so that you have a better picture of what MISTEC have done so far. And in the coming year, in 2024, it will be held in Thailand. Okay. So it's a very beautiful place with rich culture in music, and we are very honored to invite people to join us in this conference. So let me pass the time to Wendy and talk a little bit about our past experiences and perhaps share some of your view about MISTEC.
Well, thanks, Michael. I'm just going to talk briefly, and then I'm going to invite some of our past commissioners and chairs. So if you're there, I'll call on you in just a minute. I was really excited to see the little trailer. I think it's going to be great in Tallinn. I visited Tallinn in 2018, just before my first MISTEC conference, which was in Prague. I had actually been part of other commissions prior to that. And so when I went to Prague, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but there's a really beautiful scene in that little trailer of all the participants sitting, looking, and they're excited, and that's how it was in the room. It was very welcoming. For me, it was exciting to be part of a group where there were novice researchers, where there were very experienced researchers, where there were classroom practitioners, all sorts of people coming from all facets of music in schools and teacher education from around the world. and all willing to share. And I loved that, you know, at the end of each presentation, there was an opportunity to discuss that with our colleagues and to pull apart the important ideas. So as Elizabeth mentioned, when she was speaking, it was actually quite transformative, really interesting. And like always, when groups of music education people gather together, there's always lots of really, really warm networking and great friendships made. So, you know, I can only speak too highly of the experience. Our past couple of conferences have been online, which has been disappointing in some ways, but has enabled us to keep on with those, with that networking, with the generation of new ideas and the sharing of our research. And I think, you know, coming back together in 2024 is just going to be a wonderful opportunity. So I'm wondering, Brad, I can see you. I'll check who else is there, but I can see you. So I'm hoping that you might be happy to share something first up.
I'd love to. Thanks, Wendy. And it's just lovely to see so many people, even some Australian colleagues here as well. So welcome, everyone. And I want to thank Wendy and Michael and Elizabeth, Marcy and Lily and Adam, who are doing this on the other side as well. Look, all I would say is, I mean, I felt very privileged to be the chair previously, but also to have the chance to work with these people and others around the world. To me, I was just gathering a few thoughts because it's Saturday night here, nearly 9:45 in Melbourne, and I was thinking the thing I'd put MISTEC as is MISTEC equals family for me. I have been with people here for, I think it's about, next year would be 18 years. My first MISTEC was in Frascati in Italy when the World Conference was in Bologna. It was an amazing experience, and the great thing about MISTEC as a conference is that it doesn't just have obviously research and posters and workshops. It actually allows us to meet, interact, and as Wendy just said, there's a whole lot of different people. There's academics. I was a teacher. I now work in academia, and I know friends who are here have experienced that. So that's the first thing I'd say. The other thing I'd just say, I was privileged being on the board to meet in Finland earlier this year. It was lovely. Two things were lovely about that. And I'm really excited about this, both World Conference and MISTEC. Firstly, it was just lovely to see people face to face. There's something about being in the same room, in the same space and sharing. So I'd just encourage you. I didn't go to Tallinn, but I was in Helsinki where the main conference will be, the Finlandia area, the Sibelius Academy. The whole of Helsinki is just divine, and it is so beautifully, I suppose, focused around the arts, the music and everything, and it's going to be a wonderful time of the year. So please, if you can, if you're coming for the commission, try and stay on for that because it is a wonderful, wonderful time together. The other thing I just want to say is, as Wendy just, I suppose, noted, is that she went to Prague, and that was the last time we met as a international group together, and it was one of the most wonderful commissions I've been to, not just because we had, I think, the biggest amount of people, but we just had this great sort of sense of community and connection, and it was really terrific just to be able to share, eat a meal together, have a coffee, have a drink, and it was just wonderful to do that. So again, if you're thinking of coming to MISTEC, I'd strongly encourage you to do that, and please really think about it. And whatever format, even if you're not presenting, just be there, because the great thing is the way it's structured, MISTEC, and Elizabeth was talking about the submissions, is it's one of those events where we actually all sit together and we hear everybody. It's like a single stream. So we're all doing that. There are the posters, which obviously is a little bit more diverse, but we can hear everybody, and we have questions from the writers and the presenters, which are then stimulus for the further discussions, which I think is terrific. So look, that's my experience. The only other thing I just want to say in passing, and I can either share the screen, or maybe Sri or someone can do it. We are celebrating the 70th anniversary of ISME next year. And myself and Julie Ballantyne, who I know a lot of you will know, good friend and colleague, we've been working on the committee, and we are having what we call the 70th anniversary student composition. So Michael, could I just share my screen? Would that be okay?
Oh, that's fine, Brad.
Is that all right? No,
Yes.
thank you. I just okay,
Can
if
you
you
do
can
it?
just try again. That's great. Thank you. I'll just share this quickly. So this form is available online. You need to, I can put the link up. You need to be logged into Google in some way because it's set up that way at the moment. I know Sheree and Ryan are looking at another format I think it's going to be in not Qualtrics, SurveyMonkey, I think, and I've looked at that. But I just talked to you about it when we came up with the topic. We thought for students and composers, the idea of music and me, just people's journeys with music and what it means to them. And given the focus of the main conference and again, sustainability, how it affects us and how important it is to us individually. There are 4 categories. So each category has a $500 US prize. And you can see here there are categories for very young students. And then there's 11 to 18, 19 to 30, and then another people's choice. So you'd need to fill out the form and oh, sorry, Sheree.
It's the president's choice. It's not people's choice. We've changed it to
president's choice. Thank you for that. Yeah, sorry. That's right. Yeah. And the only other thing I'd just say is students can submit in any way. So it can be an audio link. It can be a video to YouTube. It could be a Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever. So I just wanted to share that with you. The due date for that is in about 3 or 4 weeks. So if you're working with students in your locations around the world and they've got something they've been working on and they'd like to share their work, I think it's a great way to foster their creativity and their contribution. So I'll get off screen and thank you very much for the chance to be here, and I look forward to the rest of the night.
Thanks so much, Brad. And I would just reiterate what Brad said. I actually had someone who's in the room at the moment ask me, just a week or 2 ago about, feeling a bit unsure about presenting a paper and so on. And I think if it's a little bit daunting, go for a poster. The posters are amazing in the discussion that they provoke and the input that the participants can have into your research and to generate new ideas or direct you to a new source or, anything that happens when we talk about our research with others. So I would encourage you personally that if it's, oh gosh, I really don't want to write a 3,000 word paper, then go for a poster. It's another great way to engage in the conference. I'm just wondering, have we got any other commissioners or past attendees here? I know there was some registered, but I'm not sure who else is in the chat room. Throw your hand up or failing that, I can see another face that I recognise. Dawn, I'm wondering whether there's anything that you would like to say. Sorry to put you on the spot, but you're right on my screen. I recognise.
That's okay. Look, I've never personally attended MISTEC yet. I've attended ISME conferences. My first one was in South Africa in 1998. So I've been a long-standing member, but never attended MISTEC. And I thought, tonight, it's only 5 to 10, time to go out. As young people would say, I'd join the Zoom meeting. It's a wonderful organization for people that have never been part of it or to also present at a commission. I think, as Brad has mentioned before, the sense of community and belonging to a community of practitioners is so important, particularly in this day and age that we live in with technology. We're using it more and more. And I think networking and working with people, with like-minded people is also a blessing, because so many of us work, like myself, in isolation, or you're 1 or 2 at your school or university or conservatorium or whichever setting you are placed in. And coming to a smaller commission, you actually get to know people. At ISME, there's just thousands of people. And you're passing people on the street when you're going out to have a coffee or chat, and you actually don't realize that's actually a music educator from another country. Whereas the commission, you actually have time to get to know people, get to know their research, and make that connection, and make international and even local connections, because sometimes you meet, like, I'm based now in Melbourne, so you meet people from Australia and you go, oh, I didn't know you work in Australia. Oh, wow, you work at another university, etc. So, yeah, I think, it's an encouraging place for people who's also early career researchers to start thinking about sharing their research. It's a safe place to be in, not to be nervous and think, oh, the big guns are going to be out there from, in the main conference, and I'm so nervous. It's a very safe place. And people generally, even in the big conference, the main conference, they're really there to encourage, to motivate, and to share knowledge. Otherwise, what's the point of us presenting if it's not for us to share and to benefit from and to gain from each other and to learn from different countries, because it's a world conference. We're so far apart from everyone, particularly, if I look at the map of the world in Australia, we feel a bit far away. This is such a lovely way for all people from different parts of the world to come together. And we feel so powerful when we're all together in one space, don't we? Because we're so marginalized in our little areas, in terms of the curriculum or funding or giving recognition or advocacy for music. And in this one space, it's just fantastic for people to share what they're doing in schools or in teacher education. What works and what doesn't, and what can we improve, and how can we make it be a better place where there's so much more harmony in places like attending or presenting at a conference. So yeah, I think it's great. I don't know if I'll be able to come at this time. ISME is always in my teaching time, which is unfortunate for some of our Australian universities. So that's a bit of a bummer, if I could say that. Yeah, but thanks, Wendy. Nice to see you. I also see, I think, one or two other people that I know. I know Catherine, and hello, Jenny.
So much, Dawn. I apologize for putting you on the spot, but I knew you would have some lovely words
to
say there, and just the perfect sentiment expressed. So I don't know, are there any other commissioners? Have we got any other commissioners? Yeah? Or did you want to move on, Michael? Or did you or Elizabeth want to say something about yours?
I think I just want to echo Dawn's that because the MISTEC is a very close family. So if you join us, then we can know each other very well, unlike the main conference, that because you have too many people there, then probably you cannot recognize them and do not have enough time actually to talk. But in MISTEC, in that usually 5 days, we can talk every day. We have lunch together. We have some sightseeing together. So we have more time to learn from each other. I think the most important is that we can really exchange idea. We have enough time to talk, to networking. So this is I think the most benefit when I joined MISTEC.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Elizabeth?
I participated in MISTEC in 2012, 10 years ago approximately, when MISTEC pre-conference took place in Komotini in Greece. So it was very good for me as postgraduate student to attend this conference, and I feel that I become addicted to this pre-conference, and I want to participate each time, because you don't go only for the conference. Of course, the presentation, the posters, the workshop, everything is innovative and really insightful, but you go there also to meet friends. And this is very, very important.
Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is is it chair-elect that we're calling you? Elizabeth will be the next chair,
so.
next chair of the of the commission. So Lily Chen-Haftek is our current chair and will be for this conference, and then Elizabeth will be taking over for the next 2 years. So that's really exciting for us as well. So Brad,
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 I saw Brad raise his hand.
Can I just say, I reckon MISTEC always does really well with locations. Like, I mean, Prague was amazing, and I mean, Elizabeth's just talked about that one. Some of the other sites have been amazing. I reckon Tallinn is probably the best. There's a lot of the commissions are going to be around Helsinki. You get to go across for a short boat trip and have the most wonderful time. And then if you want to come back to Helsinki. So I would certainly recommend it. From a travel perspective, I think MISTEC are really good at picking the best locations.
Thanks, Fred. Do you think shall we move on now, Michael? Do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy. So I'm going to I prepared something actually in this cafe because our topic today is about AI. So myself is of course educated, but I'm also very interested in technology. So today I prepared just very short kind of like presentation, talk a little bit about AI as a kind of input to you. Maybe you know it, but I just speak a little bit. Then we can move on to the discussion so that you have some brief idea of AI in music. Right, so I will share my screen. So give me around 10 minutes. Right. Okay, so I hope everyone can see it. So it is about AI in music. Right, so what is it I mean AI in music, artificial intelligence in music. I usually categorize them in 4. So as you know, I think everyone know, because of the ChatGPT and also many emerging AI tools, it's really amazing that they can do a lot of things, especially the chatbot, but also in music. As you can see, they are already reshaping and also influencing our music industry, not talking about the music, but also business globally. So there are 4 categories we can see currently. Like one is about listener, AI listener. Second one is about AI composer. I think it's more easy to think about what is an AI composer because it's just like someone is composing. AI performer, AI DJ. So I will briefly let you know what are they and give you a few examples. And this is what I have prepared. So I think it's already everywhere because when we are talking about AI listener, mainly it's like when we are listening to new music, pop music or whatever music, we now using the streaming platform like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, etc. So when you choose some music to listen, then probably they will also suggest you other similar repertoire, similar audio recording for you. Now that is something about AI already. So user can find the music more efficient, easily. The AI can recognize what melody you have listened to, or any or that kind of instrumentation, or even keys. And so this is one of the example about music appreciation. And even they can recognize the sound and convert into MIDI or into music score. And just like some app like I think it's SingScope. Yep, it's an app that recognizes your voice and it can notate it like in a piano roll. The second one is AI composer. So I think it's straightforward. Is that it is like a human to write for you, compose a new melody, new composition. And I'm going to show you one example later. To generate music by giving them some parameters. Say, I want to have a very energetic mood, which is 2 minutes, and I want an orchestra. Then these are the parameters, and then they can help you to generate it. I think at this moment is more on like, for example, if you create a video, you usually want to make some background music. So I think this is very helpful. But in terms of concert music, perhaps it's still a lot of room to improve in the AI generation. And the third one is about AI performance, which I think some companies are very keen to develop such tools in AI. Like they can read the MIDI, read the score, okay, and they can even play an instrument. I remember quite a long time ago, actually, I put a link here. In Hong Kong Philharmonic Orchestra, this concert was very long time ago, 2013, or 10 years ago. They featured the Rhapsody in Blue, which is composed by Gershwin, and also played by Gershwin, because they put a piano in the middle of the concert hall and with the live orchestra, of course with a conductor, but they put the input the playing of Gershwin into the computer, and then the piano automatically played it like Gershwin during the concert. I find one example, but this is not Hong Kong Phil, but another ensemble. So I just want to give you an idea of what is it. So what you will see is that a piano without a human, but playing with the orchestra. Right, I just stop it here. Okay, if you have time, of course you can find it out in YouTube. And yeah, sorry, this one is about AI DJ. Like they, for example, there's some tools that they can remix an existing music. Like you put the canon in D in the tools, and then it will and you say that I want to extend it for a few more minutes. Okay, at first it's what, like 4 minutes, and then I want to have 8 minutes long canon in D. Then they will try to remix it, rearrange it to fulfill that duration, so they can recognize those melody and try to put it in the right place, so that you find it is smooth and you can't recognize that it has been edited. So this is like a remaking, arranging. A few examples here I prepared. For example, is Dear Gleam, a project by Yamaha here. So you will see very similar to the Gershwin project that we create the sound of a pianist, which they missed it a lot and not was passed away. Let me show it here. So this is one of the project to like reproduce that playing of a already passed away pianist. And another project I would like to share with you is duet with you, like playing with you. Okay, kind of like I think it's more on music education, this one, which can engage students, especially the beginner of playing piano, that usually they find it hard to do the accompaniment, but now the AI is doing the accompaniment like in a lifetime, okay, real time. So if they play more energetic, then the accompaniment will follow. If you play more melodic, more mellow, then the accompaniment is also following. So let me show you this video.
人と楽器。ヤマハのすべてはこの2つの言葉から始まっている。人は何を求め、楽器は何を求められているのか。常に双方から見つめ、ヤマハは答えを出してきた。近年、AI テクノロジーによって急激に変化している人と物の関わり方。そのテクノロジーを使えば、人と楽器の可能性もさらに広がるのではないだろうか。ヤマハは新たな答えに挑戦する。
楽器そのもの自体っていうのはもう何年も何年も形を変えずに来ているものではあるんですよね。ただ、まだまだ楽しんでいただけてない方もいらっしゃる。
楽器が自分自身の表現するデバイスであるにもかかわらず、その表現するまでのハードルがめちゃくちゃ高いというところがあると思うんです。
そういったその演奏体験が少しハードルがあるなっていうふうに感じちゃった人、なんかその人たちを AI が救う、AI の技術を使うことで救えるんじゃないかっていう、そういったところに少し行き着いたというところがあるんですね。
は人間の演奏の速さですとか演奏の表情に合った伴奏をリアルタイムで合成するというシステムです。多少ミスがあったりとかぎこちない弾き方であったりしても AI が本来表現したかった速さですとか意図というようなものを汲み取って、それに合わせて豪華な演奏を補ってくれることで、初心者でも楽器演奏の成功体験が味わえるというふうに期待しています。今までの自動伴奏システムっていうのは人間が伴奏させたいパターンというものを指定したら、その通りに機械が動くというようなものでした。
やっぱその人のテンポにその機械が合わせるんじゃなくて、機械に人が合わせなきゃいけないっていう、本当はその人が最適に道具を使うはずなのに、道具の方に人が使われちゃうっていう、なんかその状況が少し違和感があるので。
で U の場合は人間が演奏する速さを変えたりですとか演奏の仕方を変えたりすると、それを瞬時に察知して伴奏をリアルタイムで変えてくれるというところが大きなポイントです。
機械と触れ合ってるんじゃなくて、あくまでも人と楽器が向き合ってる中に誰かが寄り添ってそういったものを後押ししてくれるっていう、人のポテンシャルを最大化するための人と楽器をつなぐパートナー AI が主役になるんじゃなくて、あくまでも人が主役。
I can see it working beautifully with them because they would jump on the chance to get to interact musically with an instrument they already think they know how to do everything.
It really felt like I was sitting next to another person playing a duet. Like the keys were moving at like the same weight as they would be if I was pressing them.
小さいお子さんなんかが何々っていう風に駆け寄ってきて、でそれがその子にとっての初めてのピアノの経験だったりしたりっていう部分を見た時には本当に嬉しかったですね。
Yeah, this is another example. I think it's very exciting, and especially for the young people who firstly learn piano. I think it's very engaging, and the AI technology is helping them to unleash their potential and give them more opportunity to perform. And before that, for composing, I also want to share with you one tools here, which is called Avia. And actually, there are many different this kind of tools. Maybe you heard it before. This Avia can help you to generate music, just like what I said, AI composer. So like we can create track and providing some parameter for them. Say I want to create a piece which is kind of like a modern cinematic, and then I can ask the computer, for example, I want the key signature to be C major. I want 4/4 time. Under this category, there's no pacing to be chosen. And for the instrumentation, I want say piano and strings. And duration, how long is it? Say I want just 30 seconds to 1 minute. And number of composition is that how many different versions you want based on this parameter. I want them to, for example, generate 5 composition based on this setting. Then you can choose 5, but today I choose 1. Then I can just click create. And you will see a list of composition I created here because I love a try down. Okay, so you will see it is loading now. It's generating here, and right now it's here. Let's see whether you find it convincing to you. I think it's loading. Give this a few seconds, perhaps. So it is like 39 seconds only for C major, and the tempo is 100 for time for piano and strings. I think it's coming, hopefully. And after you listen to it, you can also edit it. So the most powerful is that you can also see the piano roll. You can also download the MIDI so that you can import to the other notation system or sequencing software for further editing. So maybe my network is not so quick today. I want to refresh it, see whether it works. And as a yeah. Right, I think it's good for some production, especially if you've got a video and you want to make some background music. I think it's really working. And you can open in editor, so you can see the details, okay, the melody, the chord space, and you can see exactly the pitches here and the rhythm, and you can also adjust it, okay, make it longer, shorter, okay, or change the notes. Okay, so just a kind of example, and so that you know what we have in the world today. And these are some of the apps I find it quite interesting and easy to use. I won't go through it today, but if you're interested, you can take a picture or what. So the accurate music is very similar to this Avia, which is also providing some parameters, and you provide some parameters and they will generate it. Amper music, yes, also is very similar to the Avia and accurate music. Tone transfer is a kind of way to like transform your voice into instrument. For example, I can record my voice and then it transforms into a saxophone playing. Senscope could recognize your voice to know you're singing, like your pitch, whether you are singing in tune or not, then they can recognize it. So let's move on here. So finally, you will see there's many opportunity exist now, especially I think in teaching music theory, music appreciation, listening, composing, even performing. Seems that people has to learn a little bit on algorithm, even in music. But of course, there are very issue, like the ethical issue, whether the author, so who is the author? Is that the one who clicked the button to generate it is the composer? I think there's still a lot of issue and challenges in this area. But anyway, just give you a very brief idea of AI. There's nothing about ChatGPT, but more on AI in educate music. So now we can move on to the discussion.
Excuse me, Mike.
Yeah,
There is
sorry.
A question in chat.
Yeah.
About IVA, if it's free, but I think that this is also for the rest of apps you presented. IVA, if it's free, that's the question in chat.
So sorry, Elizabeth. Maybe I have some network problem. I can't hear.
The question, there is a question in chat about IVA, if it's free.
Really?
If it's free or not, and maybe this is also for the rest apps you presented.
Oh yeah, basically those software apps I presented are all free, but if you want to get more, of course, you have to pay. You have to pay for or a subscription, but everyone can get an account free of charge and try the software. So yes, for the basic use is free of charge. Yep, thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably you won't own it. You won't own it. I mean, own the copyright. So for very detailed copyright issue, maybe you can check out the website of that particular software. Right. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks for asking. If no more questions, we can move on to the discussion section which is related to this topic, the AI. Before that, let me put a link in the chat room, and please click it and open it with your browser. Okay. So which is the same as this slide. Okay, we have prepared 4 questions, and hopefully we could spend like 20 minutes on this discussion. So I'm sorry that the question is a little bit long, but for example, the first one is, what has your experience with AI in music education looked like so far, and are there any AI tools or applications that you have become proficient in within the music education field? Okay, or could you share how these tools have enhanced your teaching or learning experiences? So it is more on the what you have tried it before. Okay, talk about AI tools. The second one is, what are your anticipation, okay, or prediction regarding the future role of AI in music education? I think we all want to know, and so it's a good platform to discuss and see your view. And how do you see it evolving in the next 5 or 10 years? And what specific needs could it help address? The third one is, what are the biggest challenges related to AI in music education? Okay, based on your own practice and experiences. So have you identified any specific issues, say, student using this kind of tools is not actually learning music, maybe, or they're not actually composing? So might be some pros and cons or drawback that related to the AI and impacting our field. So you may talk about this kind of problem. And number 4, I think, is very controversial, just like what we said. So what ethical consideration should educators consider when integrating AI in music education? So when we are applying this kind of tools into our teaching, we want to enhance their learning, but at the same time, I believe there may be some ethical issue that we have to fix it or to solve it. So these are the questions we have prepared, and we hope to divide into some subgroups. Say, how many people do we have now? We have 42 people. Say, we will divide into some groups randomly. So I think it's a good time to learn from each other. And you can choose 1 or 2 questions to discuss, or if you want, you can choose more. So the link in the chat room is important, because when we moved it into the breakout room, then this PowerPoint will disappear, okay? So in order to view the question, I think it's good to open the link. Okay, I put it again in the chat room. So remember to open this link so that you can still see the questions. Right, thank you for your time and doing the discussion. So we should have 3 groups, right? So from my groups, we have a very fruitful conversation, but we don't have a time to choose who is the representative to present the idea. So on behalf, I talk a little bit because I dropped some points, and if my group mates would like to jump in and talk a little bit, just feel free. So we have chosen the 3rd question, which is about the biggest challenges related to AI in music education. We talk about that if students just using the AI tools, for example, to generate music, probably there's no learning behind, and they cannot improve their skills. Not like the traditional music class, we want to improve their musicianship or improve their singing skills, but throughout those tools, perhaps it's hard to help them to improve their skills, or even not having a platform for them to nurture creativity. And more important is that we all agree that it's very hard to recognize that whether the work is really produced by this human, the student, or just it is produced by the AI. So it seems that it's hard to recognize. We don't know, the teacher don't know. So it's about the authorship issue. And another thing is that teacher find it difficult or even no time to learn about the new technology, the new AI tools, and have no idea how to incorporate in a proper way. So these are all the challenges we find out and during our discussion. If there's some supplements, so please feel free to jump in. So this is from my group. So what about the group from Wendy? What about your groups? Your group.
Michael, hi everyone. We were a little bit quiet to start off in our group. We took a little bit of getting going, and somehow I ended up being the reporter, even though I did ask for other people. We did basically look. Yeah, Jenny, that's what happened. You knew that would happen. We did touch briefly on each question, but as I'm listening to Michael talking about the challenges and looking at the notes I wrote down, most of our discussion came back to a challenge. So I'm going to just try to quickly go around what we said that came out of each question but was related to that. One thing was, because it's not a human thing and music is such a human thing, it can only be a help to us. It can't fully replace anything, because we're not like maths, which can be data generated, but it's very, very human. It might help with efficiency, but it really loses our human connection, and we we've always taught, and we need to teach music as a human and personal thing, and that can be lost. Another challenge was, how do we decrease the gap between the teachers and students, particularly older teachers like myself, who these things are very unfamiliar to and not part of the world that we grew up in with our music learning, when we've got children coming through who are being born into that world, and that gap seems to be getting bigger. You know, how do we actually the words were, and they were Jocelyn's word, the word was, how do we shepherd the change? And I thought that was really a beautiful way to put that. Another challenge was, you know, using AI for things like composition could, you know, can be great in many ways, but how will they learn other musical skills if that's the only way that they experience composition? And, you know, that perhaps, you know, that they could have, it could be part of their education and maybe for practice at home, but that they still need to learn more about music and composing traditionally. Another challenge was that, and this is related to the other thing that I said, but a lot of people have concerns about using AI, and teachers, if they're going to include it in their teaching, need to learn about it first. And that's quite a time-consuming thing. One of our group participants was a university teacher with dancers using multimedia, and she had to do a month's worth of study to just be sure that, you know, what she was doing was right, and to make sure she was complying with guidelines and so on. So there's a lot of learning that needs to go on. And the other thing that we talked about a little bit towards the end was the ethical issues, like the protection of privacy for students in particular. Who owns it? Whose intellectual property is it? Like who owns the composition if we've put something in? And one that we thought was really important was it can actually be quite culturally limiting, especially with around Indigenous musics, which tend not to be digitised. And then we sort of talked around those ethical things around research and the dissemination of tribal and Indigenous musics and the ethics around that. So they were the things that I don't know if anyone thinks of anything that I've missed there from my group.
Sounds great. And I think it is the main issue is about the authorship, about the ethic issue. I think is also common in our group. And what about Elizabeth? What about your group? Any thoughts?
Thank you, Mikey. To be honest, we did not follow the questions one by one, but we had an insightful and inspirational discussion, and Brad will present the main points. Thank you, Brad.
Okay. Thanks, Elizabeth. We had a really good discussion, actually. And like similar to, I think, Michael and Wendy's group, there were things we didn't just look at music in terms of composition, because we were talking about the fact that things like YouTube and Spotify are actually forms of AI anyway, because if we type in a song that we like, it'll find us 20 versions of it. It knows what we like. When we're teaching online, it knows what we like, finds things for us. We already do that when we go searching into Google Scholar. So we talk more around some of the sort of ethical pieces behind it. There was some good comments around we have to know why we're using it, as in thinking the purpose behind it. But I thought the best way to actually sort of summarize it was to ask ChatGPT what I should say. So I'm going to actually look at some of the things that we did. I just said, can you write me a small report about the advantages of AI in music teaching, please? And some of this was really interesting for us because a lot of us talked around the fact that it does allow for personalised learning. It can be adjusted for different levels. If we've got, like, even Michael was showing us stuff before, we could change certain chord patterns. It gives access to students. It can be individualised. We could differentiate. It can provide feedback, but we like this idea that it can be accessible and inclusive. So you could create, again, if we talked a lot about creativity, so you can have students who are using it in different ways for different purposes. And we do concur with everyone else, it's not just the same as playing music. We all agree we want to make music together in a room because that's what we love doing, and that's the aesthetic of music. But then we talked also about some of these other things. It does give us great, widely applicable tools that we can use. We're already using a lot of these tools actually in things like doors and workstations. It's just a slightly different, modified version of it on the way through. So yeah, I mean, and then I asked this as well. Sorry, Jess, I said, can you add me some references in? Because I wanted to check that I was being ethical. And what it told us to do is a good thing about ChatGPT is it told us that we should consult scholarly articles and we should use research papers and that we should go and look at Google Scholar or JSTOR. And then it told me how to actually reference that as well. So I actually think there's a lot. I was saying I've started playing with it quite a bit, and we were talking about it and sort of saying, again, I'd be interested in Dawn or Danielle's view on this as well. I mean, in terms of teaching, we all know the shortage we have of teachers. We were talking about the shortage of practitioners around the world probably, but it may give some teachers who are not very confident just some ideas they could use or some activities they could use. I don't know, is that better or worse? I don't know, but I think we've just got to look at it from a critical viewpoint and make sure that it's not just accepted, but I think we've got to use it alongside our normal pedagogy. But yeah, we had a great discussion. It was really interesting.
May I add
but we didn't answer
one more point?
Any questions? Yeah, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, may I add one more? We also said that AI will never be able to fully replace the emotional and creative atmosphere that we can be fostered in our music classrooms. It would be, it will never happen, I think. And we had a great discussion about it. It's a great tool, but our feelings and personality, our personal characteristics and emotions will never be replaced.
Yeah,
agreed.
And we're saying we can't just leave it, can we, Elizabeth? We said we have to, as I think Wendy was saying and others have said, you have to understand it, try and engage with it because our students are engaging with it as well. So there's a necessity on our part as educators and teachers to try and at least engage with it because we're all going to have to use it in some way.
Right. So of course there's pros and cons, and it opens some of the possibility, but of course there's a lot of issue and backdraws, etc. Especially talking about authorship. So it's coming to the end of the cafe, but before that, I think it's good to have like a Q&A or anything you want to say, you want to talk about, you want to ask about MISTEC, about the call for paper, about what we have discussed so far. So just feel free if you want to say anything. And first of all, I want to thank everyone for concentrating on the computer for more than an hour. So anything you want to say, just speak out anytime. Feel free. And thanks, Brad, our ex-chair, for joining us. We are very grateful to have you here.
Thank you. I think it's great to see everyone online. I think it's wonderful.
There will be a survey at the end when they leave the meeting. In the survey.
Cherie, just a question. Is that, sorry to interrupt, is that latest version of the composition one, the Survey Monkey one, is that available now for people if
not
they can
yet.
get it, or is that
unfortunately
okay?
not.
Yeah, well,
working on it.
That's all right. So maybe in the next few days, I mean, when that comes through, Michael, there's going to be another link as well. Maybe we can put it into the Facebook threads so people can at least try, if they want to get their students to be involved, they can submit their compositions.
Yes, I think this is a really good opportunity for students. I have already told them, and I think some of them are interested in it and working on it, but due to very limited time frame, so they have to start it now. It's composing is not like the AI tools. I think you don't expect to receive an AI composition, right?
We will be sending out a
but who
postcard.
knows?
Yeah, we will be sending out a postcard once we're done with the.
Yep.
Great, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
But there will be a survey after this, for this webinar.
Yes. So where can they find it? I mean, the survey.
When we end the meeting, you'll get it automatically.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Okay, so any more questions? Okay, so I won't keep you long. Okay, so just want to thank everyone for joining us. We once again, MISTEC is a close family, and we welcome everyone to join us, especially the upcoming conference in Thailand. And so we hope to see you in the conference, and looking forward to receive your paper as well. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can email us at checking out our website in the ISME. And yeah, we are very welcome to answer your question, right? Okay, so that's it. And thanks to our commissioner, Wendy and Elizabeth, also Brad, okay, and our colleague, Sherry, okay. So we officially end here, okay. So I hope to see you later, okay. Stay in touch. Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. And good night.
Thanks, everyone. It was nice to see you. Bye now.